Hi, it's Dave with Spanglish Generation. Welcome. Today, we are going to be talking about a clip from The View that aired just a few hours ago. If you're new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe and support by liking, commenting, and sharing as well. This is basically my place where I share my thoughts, my opinions, and why not entertain you a little bit as well. But the View never ceases to amaze and, give us content and stuff to give our opinions on. A lot of you say, well, why watch The View? Because it's important to know what people that usually don't agree with you are saying. It's important to see if you're going to have an opinion on mainstream issues, what mainstream is saying. And today they were talking about patriotism. And one of the clips that I got from YouTube, that last part, I want you to hear what Sunny says. And then we're going to get into it really quickly. And then I want you to tell me if I'm wrong. Take a look.
But when I listened to Christopher Wray, the president, the head of the FBI, he said white supremacy is the biggest domestic threat to this country. And so as a woman of color with a 6'2" black kid in college and a 5'7", 5'8" black kid in high school, I don't see that part of American exceptionalism. I'm sorry. No. I think this country has a lot of problems that could be solved. Yes, maybe they're putting Muslims in jail in Afghanistan, I think you mentioned, and China. They're putting a lot of more black people in jail here.
Can I ask, because we've had this convo before, on the issue of race, what country on earth do you think?
Let's stop that for a minute, because that's the part I want to concentrate on. First, I want to say the first part that Sunny Asuncion, or dear Asuncion, our Latina representation on The View, goes on to say that it's hard to see the American el excepcionalismo americano, because according to what she's stating, the FBI says that white supremacy is the #1 threat to the nation. And she says that as a black woman who has black children, she fears for them. A black woman who is on mainstream TV, has an amazing career. Her husband has his own practice. Her son, who she mentioned, her black son, I believe is in Harvard, one of America's top, if not the top university. And then she's got her daughter, I'm pretty sure, in a very privileged, secluded educational system or school, whatever. So it's weird that someone in such a privileged position still doesn't believe in the greatness of America. This person does not believe that America is or can be or has been exceptional. I know we've had our issues in the past, and we will continue to have our issues in the future. We have our issues now, but you're telling me from that position you are in that you cannot find the greatness in America. Okay, well, I want to go back to this clip and just listen to this part.
I think this country has a lot of problems that could be solved. Yes, maybe they're putting Muslims in jail in Afghanistan, I think you mentioned, and China. They're putting a lot of more black people in jail here.
Can I ask, because we've had this convo before?
They're putting in America than in China. Okay, so let's get into that for a minute, because I think it's unfair to compare Muslim camps, which Alyssa mentioned earlier during that clip. You can definitely go ahead and take a look at that clip. I'll leave a link in the description section so you could see the full clip on your own and judge for yourself. How can you compare Muslim camps in China to black people going to prison in the US? Yeah, I understand that Muslim people are being taken to jail in China, but black people, more black people. How could you even compare the fact that people in China are going to prison for being Muslim? For being Muslim, period, point blank, for being Muslim. who in the US is going to prison for being who they are? Who in the US is going to prison for being Black? Yes, there is racism in people. Yes, there are people who implement a system of action that is racist, that is prejudiced. We know this. But I want to know how many Americans, if you were to take the statistic of how many Black Americans are in prison right now, how many of them would be in prison specifically and exclusively for who they are and not what they've done? How many Black people are in prison right now, not because they've committed a crime, but simply because they are Black and they were being Black, calling their family somewhere else, like in China, for example. I'm going to leave a video also in the description section that explains some of these camps. People get taken to the camps because of communications intercepted with family back home. The minute that you have communications with family that may be in activism, etc., taken to the camp, disappeared, abducted. The family doesn't know anything else. You know what that sounds like? Cuba. And it would be very unfair to compare political prisoners from Cuba and Cuba to any person getting arrested here in the US. How dare you say, yeah, Muslims are getting arrested in China, but more Black people are getting arrested. Black people in the US are not getting arrested for being Black people, as Muslims in China are being sent to camps for being Muslims. There is a diferencia, Asunción, mi amor. And this is where I get frustrated with this narrative on mainstream. It is known, and look it up yourself. The Black community has a high crime incidence, high. The statistics are high. Murder perpetrators, 2019. Higher percentage Black perpetrators. Of course, there are more white people. There are more white people getting arrested than Black people. Yes, overall, because they are the majority for now. But there's a lot of Black violence and a lot of Black on Black violence that people refuse to talk about and still blame Black on Black violence on white supremacy, on things learned from the white people. So I don't know what your opinions are, but I was really taken aback, and I was a little bothered, or a lot bothered, by the fact that Sunny decided to compare Muslims getting abducted and sent to re-education camps in China that we all know are not what the Chinese government says they are, to Black people in prison in the US. There is no comparison whatsoever. And I don't even know how this is allowed to be on mainstream and someone doesn't come out and correct it, because really, it's wrong. And you should never be comparing people being arrested and being persecuted for who they are versus those who are being processed in a judicial system for what they've done. Thank you for watching. I'd love to hear your comments, read your comments, and interact with you. Follow me on Spanglish Generation and Instagram and TikTok, and see you next time. Bendiciones.